The Winklevoss twins. If you've ever seen that movie, The Social Network, you know who they are, but they're also business people in the crypto space. Talk to me about this IPO. They actually recently increased the pricing to it. What's going on here with this one, and how are investors viewing it?
It's going to be really interesting to see this one play out, Frank. So the exchange is Gemini. It goes all the way back to 2014. Obviously, the Winklevoss twins are some of the earliest investors in crypto. But, you know, this exchange really hasn't kept pace with something like a Coinbase in terms of adoption and use and product expansion. So you mentioned the upsizing. They are looking to sell 17 million shares between $24 and $26 a piece. That is, you know, upsized from $17 to $19 range. And this would value the company at $3 billion. The interesting thing about this one is it has been operating at a loss for years, an even bigger one in the first half of this year than in all of 2024. And we've just really seen this surge of interest in IPOs this year, obviously under the Trump administration, which has been so pro-crypto. You know, the Winklevoss brothers are big supporters and mega donors of the Trump administration. So we've seen all of these successful IPOs, and I think it'll be really interesting to see if we can keep that rally sort of going in this particular IPO, even if it has been operating at a loss for all of these years.
All right, so we're seeing more of these companies go public. We're also seeing a lot of companies adopt a strategy that Michael Saylor seemed to kind of innovate, at least to some degree. The idea of having a crypto treasury. Friend of CNBC, Dan Ives, he's the chairman of a company that does that. Tom Lee, another friend of CNBC, he's also the chairman. I think we're going to show some of the moves of some of those names. What's going on with that strategy? Is that working out for the coins and for the companies? Are both of those benefiting, or are we seeing some type of divergence?
We're seeing a lot of different things, and you know, I think what you're saying, like, we've never had so many different ways to get exposure in the public markets to crypto. So it's really interesting. Bitcoin has been lagging. If you look at the spot price over the past month, Solana has really been the outperformer versus ETH, which has been doing, you know, quite well because of all of these treasury companies, and definitely versus Bitcoin. I think it's starting to look like the Bitcoin treasury play is not quite working out, and I think that has more to do with the attention on other coins like ETH and Solana, which are, you know, the treasury companies around those coins are still doing very well, and I think it has a lot to do with the initial pop. And that is what we're going to wait to see play out later this year, because you can have all of these companies come onto the market, announce a Bitcoin or an ETH or a Solana treasury strategy, and then see a bunch of investors pour in for that initial rush before it tapers off and people start to take profits. But there are investors like DCGco and Pantera who are, and Galaxy Digital for that matter, who are backing these really, really big deals because they do think that there are going to be 2 or 3 that last for the long term.
All right. Everybody kind of knows about Ethereum now. A lot of people feel like Wall Street's building on Ethereum. You can build apps on Ethereum. Let's talk about WorldCoin. That's backed by Sam Altman, or again, our friend Dan Ives also. What features does that have? Is it a combination of cryptocurrency and AI? Like, exactly what is that?
It is, I think, what Dan Ives would say is the intersection between AI and blockchain. And so what they're really targeting, it sounds like, and, you know, AI is not my realm of expertise, but it sounds like they are looking for this sort of proof of human function. So there is this network.
Proof of human? What's that mean?
And in an increasing world of AI sophistication and bots, and scammers and false identities, just a way to prove that anyone who is using the WorldCoin network is actually a real human person. So you get a cryptocurrency in exchange, and it actually echoes something that BlackRock CEO Larry Fink talked about in his annual letter this year, which is, you know, we want the tokenization of all assets in the financial world of the future, but in order to do that, we need to get this digital identity thing under control, and I think that's what they're targeting.